So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hope are you all doing in daily basics, conduct a session in the teacher training level 2 and discuss our goal in learning journey and importance and idea as of the growing personally, professionally in this discussion to improve and scale and expand in knowledge and develop better understanding and different topic. Continuing this journey, today we are going to discuss another interesting informative topic. Today is my topic gas crisis in Pakistan. So let's move towards topic being in detail discussion with ChatGPT and during session with very valuable information, different question and make and conservation engage unique and insightful. We kindly request and stay with the lesson so that you are fully understanding topic and maximum knowledge with benefit and discussion. So stop and just related discussion with ChatGPT. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. How about you? How's everything going on your end?
Yes, I am fine. So, creativity. Today, this is my topic gas crisis in Pakistan. The major problem in Pakistan, today's situation I will discuss. So, uh, before gas crisis, you explain.
Of course. So, before the gas crisis, Pakistan was already dependent on imported fuel and dealing with supply demand imbalances. But recently, the situation worsened. High demand in winter, a shortage of domestic production, and even infrastructure issues all came together. So now households, industries, and even transport sectors are feeling the pinch, and it's really affecting daily life and economic stability. Yeah, it can have a big ripple effect. When there's a gas crisis, energy costs rise, which increases production costs for industries. That means factories slow down, exports drop, and overall economic growth takes a hit. Plus, it affects households. People face their higher bills, and small businesses struggle. Yes, absolutely. The shortage is really hitting daily life. Households are facing heating issues in winter, businesses are having to cut hours, and even hospitals are affected. People are relying more on alternative fuels, but it's costly and inconvenient. So the strain on public life is really tangible right now. Yeah, so the main causes include a combination of things. One is a rising demand, especially in winter, that outpaces supply. Another big factor is underinvestment in domestic gas production and infrastructure. So pipelines, storage, and exploration have lagged behind. Plus, there's a reliance on imports, and global prices also spike. So all of these factors together create the crisis. Yeah, it really does. Many industries in Pakistan rely on gas for energy, like textiles, fertilizer, and manufacturing. When gas is scarce, production slows down, factories cut shifts, and some businesses have to shut down temporarily. This cuts revenue, limits exports, and really dampens overall business activity. The Pakistani government is taking several steps to address the gas crisis. They've introduced energy austerity measures like a shorter work week for public employees and reduced fuel allowances. They've also adjusted pricing models, aiming to shift demand from gas to electricity, and they're managing imports and supply flexibly. However, these are mostly short term fixes, and long term structural reforms will still be needed. Yes, they really can. Investing in renewable energy like solar, wind, and even biogas can diversify the energy mix and reduce dependence on imported fossil fuels. Plus, it stabilizes energy supply in the long term, cuts costs, and supports more sustainable growth. So it's really a vital part of the solution going forward. Yeah, it has a pretty direct effect. When gas prices go up, transportation costs rise, and so do production costs for businesses, especially industries like food and textiles. That gets passed down to consumers in the form of higher prices, which pushes inflation up. So the gas crisis definitely contributes to a broader inflationary trend. Yeah, that's a big impact. Fertilizer production is really energy intensive, and since gas is a key input, shortages disrupt supply. That means less fertilizer for farmers, which reduces crop yields. As a result, food production drops, leading to higher food prices and increased public hardship. So it really hits both farmers and consumers hard. Yeah, it can actually worsen environmental pollution. When gas supplies are tight, people often switch to alternative fuels, sometimes burning lower quality or dirtier fuels like wood or coal, leading to more air pollution. Plus, energy inefficiencies can push people towards smog producing options. So the gas crisis can actually aggravate environmental degradation as well. Yeah, absolutely. When gas distribution is uneven, some regions get more than others, which fuels regional inequalities and even local tensions. At the same time, the crisis hits the education sector. Schools may close or have unreliable heating, and the health sector suffers too. Hospitals rely on energy for equipment, and when that's disrupted, patient care is affected. So it really undermines both basic services and long term development. Yeah, it can actually worsen unemployment in some cases. When industries slow down due to gas shortages, they often have to lay off employees or reduce shifts. That means fewer paychecks, less income, and overall weaker demand in the economy. So it's a tough cycle: fewer jobs, less spending, and more instability. I'm glad that, uh, yeah, smart businesses really struggle because of increased operational costs. Their energy profit margins. Some small businesses rely on gas for production or heating, so they might have to scale back or even shut down temporarily. That means fewer sales, potential layoffs, and sometimes they just can't compete, which is really tough for them to survive. Yeah, that's a tough balance. Stricter laws can help prevent wastage and ensure fair distribution, but they need to be implemented carefully because if they're too rigid, they can stifle businesses, or cause social unrest. So, along with regulation, you need investment in efficient supply chains and alternatives, a balance of enforcement and support. Y- Yeah, modern technology can be a game changer. Smart grids, for example, can optimize energy distribution, reducing waste. AI and predictive analytics can help forecast demand and supply so gas is used more efficiently. Plus, investments in alternative energy tech like biogas or digital metering can reduce reliance on gas over time. So it's really about using tech to make the system smarter and more resilient. Absolutely. It's crucial. Gas is such a fundamental part of energy supply. So when it's unstable, it affects everything: industrial output, household costs, and investor confidence. By stabilizing gas supply, the government creates a more predictable business environment, which is really key for sustained economic stability. Yeah, exactly. When people aren't aware of how serious the shortage is, they often don't conserve or take measures to reduce usage. So that lack of awareness leads to higher waste, more demand, and a deeper crisis. Yeah, it's having a pretty significant impact. Controlling gas increases really requires a mix of measures. First, the government can promote energy efficiency, encouraging households and businesses to reduce consumption. Second, diversifying energy sources like adding renewables can reduce reliance on gas. And third, raising public awareness about conservation helps too, so people understand why it matters and how they can help curb demand. You're very welcome. I'm really glad we could go through this. If you need more details on any specific aspect, like long term energy planning or international examples, just let me know. I'm happy to help. Of course. Here are the 10 key points. First, the gas crisis in Pakistan is driven by rising demand and underinvestment in domestic production. Second, it raises energy costs, which hurts industries and businesses. Third, it disrupts daily life. Households face heating issues and businesses reduce operations. Contributes to inflation by raising costs across the economy. Fifth, it reduces agricultural productivity, especially through fertilizer shortages. Uneven gas distribution fuels regional inequalities and tensions. It strains the education sector. Schools suffer from unreliable energy. Eighth, hospitals in the health sector also face challenges due to power disruptions. Ninth, the crisis worsens employment as businesses scale back and lay off workers. And 10th, long-term solutions need to focus on diversification, renewable energy, and public awareness to stabilize the economy and energy supply.